Hey y'all, it's your girl Funmi-Layo. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure to like this video. It helps other people to see the video, and make sure to subscribe because we have a lot of awesome content on the channel and playlists. So go ahead and check out those playlists and the videos. Today I'm going to be doing a chit chat. Get ready with me. I'm going to be talking to you guys. If you guys want to see me do my hair, that's going to be another video. So go ahead and subscribe so you don't miss it. I know it's like, I don't know what it's doing right now, but I'm not feeling it. So I'm going to do my hair, curl it, do all that jazz for y'all, but stay tuned to watch me do my makeup. Starting off with a fresh face, you guys. You're gonna notice like my lips are pretty dark because it's still fading back to the normal color. Yeah, y'all, I thank you so much for everybody who had suggested to use Aquaphor. I gotta get it from the store to use on my lips. And yeah, so basically what's up, you guys? It hasn't been that long, but I just wanted to check in, do a chit chat, get ready with me because I haven't done one in a minute. And I love these videos. Honestly, these are my favorite videos to watch because other videos you can see people's personality, but in the chit chat, get ready with me videos, and also in just anything where it's like somebody has to talk about a topic, you more so get to know the person. And I really like to know the YouTubers that I'm subscribed to and that I like to watch. And I just love to hear people talk. So I guess I'll start off with something light before I get to what I think will be the topic today. Have you guys been on Clubhouse? I know everybody seems to be talking about that app. Not really everybody, but people here and there. I'm on the app, so if you're on it, go ahead and follow me, look me up, I'll be there. It's been super interesting so far and super cool. So basically it seems like AOL chat, but with voice, like, you know, those back in the day. I'm over here talking about some back in the day, but you know, the AOL chat rooms, it reminds me of those, but with famous people, and they can bring you on stage. It gives you access to different types of people, and you can learn a lot of things. But I've been loving that lately. Honestly, it's low-key addicting. I'm not gonna lie, it's a lot. But again, I'm new to it, so it'll probably fade. But yeah, y'all, yeah. But I just wanted to check in with you guys and let you guys know a little bit about some things that have been on my mind. One of the main things is really just the quote, "What's for you is for you." I touched on this a little bit in a vlog, but kind of second guessing myself and wondering with different things that I do. Okay, see right here, I used a beauty blender just to see how it would work, but clearly you guys are gonna see it did not work. So I went back to using a brush to put on my foundation. But yes, I've been talking about like the statement, "What's for you is for you." So sometimes I second guess my decisions and wonder whether it's moving me toward my purpose and my goals, or whether I might be hindering myself just with certain choices where it's like, oh, did I make the right decision? I don't know. Should I have said this instead of that? Should I have responded to this email in this manner versus that manner? And just kind of like wondering different things. And because, you know, when you have goals and you have these things that things you want to accomplish and these ambitions, it really just makes you want to kind of reach it at a certain time. And this whole 2020 really been like learning that God's time trumps everything. You know, there's a Bible verse they talk about, you know, tell God the plans of a man and he'll laugh, or something like that. I can't remember the exact verse, the exact quote, but it's just basically saying that it's God knows our plans, but it's his plans that in the end are going to prevail. And it's just so true, because if you think about it, think about all the goals you had for this year. Think about everything that you thought you would do and how this year ended up going just completely different. But I'm not even gonna lie, even though this year went completely different, God has worked a lot for me. Yeah, God has worked a lot for me, and some of the stuff that were on my vision board, God pulled it off. So, but it was his timing, because honestly, let's be real, it was my vision board from I want to say 2 years ago. I low-key recycled that junk because a lot of the stuff I hadn't accomplished, you know? So it applied some to this year, and I was like, oh wow, like it's just very interesting how God used his timing. He did it when he wanted to do it, and he did it in the midst of this like very tough time for us, so many people. And shout out to anybody who has been personally affected financially by this pandemic. and has lost their job, because I know a significant amount of people have lost their job, and it just honestly breaks my heart, because financial instability is not something that I'd wish upon anybody, because you shouldn't have to wonder how you're about to pay your bills and keep a roof over your head. It's tough, and shout out to you if that's your situation. God's got you. But God has been able to do some great things for a lot of people during this time, and to just give us time to really be introspective and think about life and be alone with our thoughts and everything like that. And I know I'm veering off from the topic, what's for you is for you, but I'll get there. And if I don't, I don't. I just want to just have this stream of consciousness and just talk to you guys. But anyways, as I was saying, I was talking about, can't even remember, what was I talking about? But yes, no, I was saying how God has done opened a lot of doors for people, and this time has allowed us to be introspective, and especially because, you have a lot of time alone with yourself. You're really forced to think about your thoughts, and really it can just be a hole. It can just be a dark hole where you go from one thought to another thought, but you're also forced to examine things that you need healing from, and areas for improvement. Me personally, I have noticed some things and I'm like, oh God, okay, I see what you mean. He's definitely convicted me in certain areas, definitely. And it's through not only just thinking, but I'll be honest, I consume so much content. To be frank, too much content. I consume too much. And I'm working on that. I could do better, but I am aware. But God will speak to me through the content that I am consuming, because not everything that I consume is bad. It's a lot of motivational stuff in there, as well. It might even be the majority of stuff, because that's just up my alley, motivational stuff, and just all types of different content I like to consume and inspires me. But God has just been using different things that I've been seeing in podcasts I've been listening to, and to just convict me of certain things that I need to work on within myself, honestly. And it hit me, because I feel like during this time, oh my goodness, you guys, if I can tell you, this whole period has just, it's been a lot. It's I haven't been going out, and it's not where I'm getting so much social interaction, but still so much is really happening mentally, so much is really happening, and my eyes are being open to so many different things. For example, me just reevaluating certain situations, and even though I know I made the right decision, seeing areas where it's oh man, I see what that person was talking about now. I get it. I may have been wrong in this area. Just different things where I'm just examining and really coming to grips with. But anyways, so when I talk about different stages of being in the, within the pandemic that I've been in, one of them has really been I don't want to say so much self-discovery, but self-affirmation. Because it's you kind of know you're a certain way, but you really just come to grips with yo, this is how I am, and accepting myself for being wholly me and who that is, and just really learning more about myself. Not so learning about myself, but more so accepting the things that I already know, but I never really took in or considered in my interactions with people, and just really was mindful about, okay, this is just you, and if this is just you, maybe A, B, C, or D is right for you, and E, F, G, H might be wrong for you, and you need to adjust your life accordingly, And recently I was listening to a podcast, and I was actually watching it because it was on YouTube. They video it as well. Sometimes I'll watch it. Sometimes I like watching podcasts. Most of the time though, I like just listening. But and they were talking about it, and it convicted me, because it's they were saying it was two different things. The first one was talking about, and this one might have even been a sermon, was talking about how we think we know ourselves, but God knows us before. God knew us before we knew ourselves, and a lot of what we know of ourselves has been influenced by our trauma and different experiences that we have faced that have now, I don't want to say jaded, but influenced our own perspective about us. When you think about who you thought you were as a kid and who you think you are now as an adult, obviously you have changed, but so has your perspective. You know what I mean? And obviously wisdom and just being older, that knowledge that comes with that plays in part, but also that experiences that we have had that can kind of make us a little bit hardened, in some ways. Or I don't even want to use the word hardened because it has a negative connotation. I want to use a different word, like it can make us a little bit cynical of certain things, cynical and kind of wary of certain situations and certain people, which is good. It's a survival tactic, but it can also sometimes block certain blessings because we're too concerned about A, B, C, or D happening, and that really hit me because I'm like, oh wow, and also my makeup and stuff, it's dirty because, well, it's not really dirty, there's just makeup in it. So my makeup spilled in my bag, so you're gonna notice like a lot of the stuff, the items I'm going to show you guys, they have product on it. So that's something to keep in mind. But anyways, so I wanted to let you guys know that, so some of that can influence our thoughts on ourselves and influence our interactions and who we might have relationships with and what opportunities we'll choose to take versus pass up. So that really hit me because I'm like, oh wow, I really need to, and the Bible talks about it, lean not on my own understanding, but acknowledge God in all my ways and he will make my path straight, because at the end of the day, what I think I know is good, but I know the person who knows everything. You know what I mean? And again, I'm talking a lot about God in this, but I just don't want anybody to get it confused. That's because I need him so much. So it's like, this is my hope. So I just don't want anybody to start thinking that I think I'm no, it's not that. That's in him do I find my help. So that's why I like to refer to him in a lot of like talks when I'm speaking about like self-improvement and different things like that. But anyways, y'all. So I thought about it and I'm like, dang, because I noticed like I have been leaning, I gotta be honest, I have been leaning a lot on my own understanding, and I don't even know that much. You feel me? I don't even know that much, but a lot of times I have been leaning on my own understanding to protect me, like as a protection, as a protection kind of thing. And, and from that, I even noticed like certain triggers that I have, like, y'all, when I tell you, it's a lot. And this is stuff that I kind of already known, but like really coming to terms with it and coming to terms with like, there was a sermon that says like, that's not, people keep saying that that's them. That's just the way they are. That's just the way they are. And that's me. I'll say sometimes like, that's just the way I am. And if it's somewhere that I'm willing to improve, I'll be like, okay, I'm willing to change on this. But sometimes I'll just be like, that's the way I am. But the sermon was saying that that's not the way you are. That's who your trauma made you. That's how your experiences have shaped you. But that might not really even be the real you, And I've just been really taking that in and just realizing that like, okay, you think you're doing something by thinking this way or protecting yourself in this light or, A, B, C, or D, but God, God, and that he knows everything in total. So don't be like that. Don't try to say, oh, I'm going to take it upon myself. Obviously you need to walk in wisdom and discernment, and you need to, be wary of certain situations, but you also need to make sure that you're not operating from a place of hurt or a hardened heart a little bit, or even a worldly perspective, because, as a Christian, God has, made us, I think it's for everybody anyways, but God has made us whole, and everything like that. And, he's fixing everything. So you should just lean on him and just walk in love instead, but I was peeping that and I was like, oh, okay, yeah, that's very interesting. That's very interesting because it's always so easy. Like I'll tell my mom sometimes, I'll be like, no, that's just the way I am. Like, that's okay, fine. Things can be like this, A, B, C, or D, and other people can be like E, F, G. But at the end of the day, I am who I am. But it really convicted me of like, okay, Layo, like you're saying that's who you are, but God knows really who you are completely. And maybe you should just think on that and reflect on that. And then the second thing was like another podcast that I was listening to. It might even have been the same one. And they were talking and they were like, they basically described me. I'm not going to lie. I was hyped. I was hype when the person, when he was talking and he was describing the way he was, I was literally like, yo, this is me. I was like, wow, somebody gets it. You know what I mean? Like, oh, somebody understands. And I was just feeling him. Like, I was relating so deeply. And then guess what? Then he said that he realized after he got baptized, not after he got baptized, but even before he got baptized, he realized that he was operating from a place of like, of somebody who needs healing. You know, he said that, okay, granted, the way he was did have positive side effects. Like, it did help in certain situations, but ultimately, you know, kind of God was calling him to heal himself. God was calling him to like be healed in certain ways and to let go of certain things. And I was like, oh wow, that's crazy, because it was so funny, y'all. You know, when you really thought I knew something, I'm like, yes, he gets it. Oh my goodness. I had fixed my phone to video the thing because I was like, yeah, I'm gonna post this on IG. Like, yeah, like he gets it. Like, this is literally me. And then he went ahead to say how, no, this is a very this is not a good, in that particular situation that he was talking about, he said, no, this is not a good way to be, though. You know what I mean? Like, even though it can have some positive results, fundamentally, like, nah, this is, you know, there's healing that needs to happen here. And I was just like, wow, okay, God, I hear you, you know. And it's just like, it's a need to let go. It's a need to just let go and let go and be willing to like give up control. And I struggle with that. I'm not gonna lie. I want to say I'm an easygoing person. I don't even want to say easygoing. I'm mind my business. I do my own thing. You know, I'm doing my own thing. Don't worry about me. I'm good. You feel me? Like, you know, don't tell me what to do. I got, you know, but I love advice though. I love advice, but I don't want nobody to control me, you know? And so I just had to really reflect on certain things that were shared in the podcast and in the ways that I related, and trying to figure out like, okay, God, I feel like you might be talking to me here. So where do we go from here? And kind of trust that the defenses and the boundaries that we build for ourselves, that God, we don't need to, because God is ultimately our protector. And even, I can't remember his name, but he's this famous pastor. He's all over YouTube. It's a Pastor Todd something. I can't remember. But I was watching one of his sermons and he talked about it too, come to think of it. And his sermon convicted me too. He's talking about like, you know, how defenses that we build that block us from having relationships with others, you know. And I don't know, it's really been convicting me about like how areas that I need healing in, and maybe I just need to explore certain things. But I find it's all been so interesting, and I really I really had some time during this pandemic. Just in general though, I'm gonna tell you though, I be convicted like all the time really. Or different things resonate with me. I guess you could say that. Yeah, different things will resonate with me all the time, because I love listening to like inspirational content, or just listening to people talk about their lives really. But yes, you guys, I wanted to share that just in case anybody else can kind of relate with the whole, that's just the way I am, just the way I am. Like, is it just the way we are, or is it the way we feel like we have to be? Because if I'm honest, some of the way that I act is just because of the way I feel like I have to act in order to protect myself, you know, when I have the strength to, because sometimes I don't be operating my strength, but when I feel like I have the strength to, you know, some of the way I act is just because I feel like I have to act in that such a light in order to look out for me. Because my mind, like, if I don't look out for me, then, you know, how do other people know, you know, A, B, C, or D, whatever. But at the end of the day, you have to trust. I really got to work on like my trust, and, you know, letting go and letting God take control, and knowing that He's going to watch after me. Obviously, there is a line. Like, you do have to establish boundaries and different things like that. But I do notice that I do think that there might be some areas of growth just because of the reflections that I did after like listening to like the podcast and the sermon, and just being like, okay, God, I definitely need your help. So yes, I just wanted to share that with you guys, having a little vulnerable moment with y'all. Shout out to you if you got this far, and make sure to comment down below anything that you've been struggling with or that you've been convicted on, or any message that has really resonated with you during this time period of just things being locked down in a way. But yeah, y'all, you notice how I didn't even get on that topic. What's for you is for you, and that's okay. Honestly, that's okay. This probably was what I was meant to speak on. Thanks so much for watching.